Hey, good morning, everyone. So I think we have done with the introduction of auto scaling. Today we see practically how we can able to create auto scaling. Okay. And just to give me a moment, I'm just trying to share my screen and we start the discussion about the auto scaling. I just wanted to log into this account. I don't have option to skip now. Let me just try to come down. Let me just try to authenticate. Up. Yep. Uh, let's start our session. Things at a proof level. See, last class we discussed about like what is meant by auto scaling. In auto scaling, we discussed about like what is vertical scaling and what is horizontal scaling. And also we discussed about like why the vertical scaling is, we don't recommend it to the production environment and what is the difficulties that we are trying to face. That is what we have discussed. But today, what exactly that we're going to discuss is like we are just trying to understanding about like what is meant by horizontal scaling, right? So just try to understanding about like what is meant by horizontal scaling and how we can able to perform the horizontal scaling. That is also one of the factor that we should understanding about like why horizontal scaling is required and how we can able to perform it. So today we're going to discussing about like how we can able to implement practical approach auto scaling in AWS and what are the steps that we have to follow that. So in that first point, that we discussed about like we have to create a load balancer, right? So we can't able to implement all the points in the same day. We'll just try to break up today. We'll implement 3 points and tomorrow we'll implement 3 points. Okay, let's go for the first one, load balancer. And the second one is nothing but like you have to create a launch template. So in a template, it's basically you have to mention about like what configuration of the server that we need, that we have to mention about the launch template. And if we just go for the third point, we have to create something, it is called as the auto scaling groups, right? So whenever we talk about something, it is called the auto scaling groups. It is nothing but like where you have to define the yeah, where we have to define the maximum, or we can say about like the minimum number of instances, how many that we require, that we are trying to mention about like in this particular auto scaling groups. Okay, now here see, whenever you are trying to doing any setup in this particular AWS, try to do it within a VPC only. Even I'm just going for default VPC, but you should not do that. You know how to create a VPC, you know how to create a subnets, you know how to create NAT gateway, internet gateway and all. So you have to go through the same process what we are trying to following from the beginning. Now the fourth point is nothing but like we have to create SNS notification. So whenever you're trying to create the SNS notification, it's nothing but like we have to go for the simple go for the notification service. That's what we have to go for the SNS. And the fifth point is nothing but like you have to understand about like how we can able to setting up the CloudWatch alarms, right? I just want to go. I'm just trying to understanding about like how we can able to create the alarms. See, alarms is nothing but like when the traffic it is goes very high, when the traffic it is goes down, we should understanding about like how you wanted to perform this particular auto scaling. For that, definitely we just need to understand that how we can able to do that. So once this is done, after that, what we can do, I just need to understanding about the last point is nothing but like, see when the traffic it is coming towards applications and what exactly the action that we have to take. For that action, what we do, we are just trying to go for the dynamic scaling. Okay, this is nothing but like, what are the steps that we are trying to performing in this particular section right now. So the first we had to go for the dynamic scaling. And after that, we just need to perform something. It is called as the how we can able to perform this particular scaling, right? This is something that we had to perform the all the six steps. The first, we have to create load balancer. The second, you have to create launch template. And third one, we had to create auto scaling groups. And the fourth one, we had to create SNS simple notification service. And the fifth one, we had to create a CloudWatch. And sixth one, we had to create dynamic scaling. This is something that we should understanding about like all the six steps of what we have to perform. So let's get started, and we just need to understanding about like how we can able to go with the first step by step process. I explained very clearly there is an interlink between the one step to other step. If you miss the one of the step, definitely we can't able to implement it, the auto scaling. That's what you have to understand. So the first what I do, I just need to go for the menu. In a menu first, what we do, we have to go for the EC2. When I just go for the EC2 here, so what I can do, I'm just trying to create it I'm just need to first create load balances, right? Let me just go there. Let me try to create load balances here. Yeah, go back to the load balances. Yeah. So after that, what we have to do, I'm just trying to first, let me try to create the load balancer. So this is somewhere. See, don't forget to delete your resources because it is going to be the costers. There are some services is free, but other all the services not free of cost. You have to understand that point. Sometimes I may forget. Click on the create load balancer. In that load balancers, what I do, I'm just trying to first creating the classic load balancers. Click on the classic load balancer. If we come down, we have to click on the create, right? When I just click on the create, so the first we have to provide the load balancer name. See, in the load balancer name, I'm just trying to performing the Clahan hyphen. Let's go for auto scaling. That is the load balancer which I'm just trying to creating. See, the traffic, it is basically coming towards you to the internet. So whenever you are trying to creating load balancer, definitely we have to create the load balancer with the internet facing. See, even when you're trying to creating a load balancer, application load balancer, inside the AWS, if you want to route the traffic between different servers, it is going to creating network load balancer automatically. That architecture I'm just trying to explain once we're done with auto scaling, how this is gonna done everything, because you should know like what's happening inside the inside also we should understand. So we can just look at my screen. I'm just trying to creating the classic load balancer. We can see about like what is the load balancer name and where you are trying to get in the traffic. See, you are trying to get the traffic from the internet. So we have to mention about like internet facing. Now, this is what I'm telling about it. See, whenever you're trying to creating any load balancer, you have to always create within the VPC, but the load balancer has to sit inside the public subnets. So this should not be in a private subnets. Load balancers always sits inside the public subnets. So 2 days back also I have draw the architecture. I explained that why we want to setting up the this particular load balancer on the public subnet. Okay. That is also we just need to understand. Now I'm just trying to creating the load balancer in my default VPC. We can see that at least we have to select the two availability zones for the high availability of this particular load balancer. So now for what I can do, I'm just trying to first selecting this particular two availability zone. There is AP-South-1A, and we had to go for the AP-South-1B because we are setting two availability zones here, and we can see about like security groups. See, right now we don't have any security groups here in my default VPC. We have to create a security group. Now, how to create a security group right now? If you click on the create a new security group, so we can able to provide the name of the security group first. I'm just trying to provide in the Clahan hyphen, go for the auto scaling hyphen security. Okay. This is nothing but like my security group name and provide the description. And here we can see about like this is nothing but like my default VPC. And you see there is something it is called inbound rules and outbound rules, right? See, outbound is trying to opening all the traffic. You have to understand what is inbound and what is outbound. So inbound means what are the requests coming towards your application from the internet, whether you want to allow the traffic or not. That is what we can call it as a inbound. See, whenever you want to send a response to the request from inside the server to outside the internet, we what we can call as the outbound rules. This is very, very important. Okay. Now I have to go for the inbound rules. Now here we have to mention about like what is with that, what is the type of the protocol that we have to enable it. See, whenever I wanted to connect any instances, definitely I need SH protocol. So I'm just trying to creating SH protocol. And here you have to change source to the custom to anywhere. And after that, we have to go to the add rule. And here we can see that you have to mention about something. It is called as the HTTP protocol. HTTP stands for the hypertext transfer protocol, right? So we had to go for HTTP. And here we had to change anywhere IP4. This is nothing but like what we can call as the inbound rules. Inbound rules is always will tell you that what traffic that you wanted to allow inside the your application. That's what we can call as the inbound rule. So as of now, I required only HTTP and SH. So HTTP is basically opens port number 80, which is going to allow your request inside your load balancer. So that is the reason I'm just trying to open the port number 80 here. Now after that, what I do, if I just come down, we have to click on the create a security group. The security group it is got created. Now go back to here. If you click on this particular option called refresh, so once you refresh, you can see the list what security group that we have created. This is a security group I'm just trying to attaching. Now, why I just open the port number 80 means you see here clearly your load balancer is going to listen the port number 80. We can see that port number 80 is nothing but the HTTP. If we go to HTTPS, it is nothing but like 443 port number. We can just look at here. A listener is a process that checks for connecting request using the protocol and the port you configure. So that's where we have to go for the who is the listener here. The listener is port number 80. So once we have done this factor port number 80, if we come down, we have to check the health, right? So how did you going to check the health right now? So you're going to check the health with help of the port, what we have nothing but like, port number 80. And you see about like what is the path? The path it is nothing but like index.html. That's what we can call it as a path right now. Now we don't need to create or attach any instances manually because we had to perform automatically. That is where we are going with the option called as a auto scaling groups. I'm not going to manually add any instances here because I just wanted to do anything. Everything is automation. That's the reason I'm just trying to leave it a blank. We can see about like how we can able to do that. That's where we had to go for this options right now. So the first option, we had to go for the instances here. We can see it's showing about like 0, right? I'm just trying to go for this option name. It is called as 0. And if you come down, we had to go for the review and summary. See, before I just need to click on the create load balancer, I just want to ask whether it is clear or not to everyone.
Yes, Murli.
Yep.
Yes, clear.
Yep. That's great. Now I'm just going for click on the create load balancer. If anyone feels that I'm just going faster, please let me know so that I can able to come down the speed or tempo of the process. Okay, that's fine. Because this already we have seen a couple of times how to create it. Now the same thing that we have done. So in the steps of process, we can see the first one we have done. Now second one we had to go with the launch template, right? What is meant by launch template here? So we had to go to this particular option here. And we can see there is something it is called the launch templates. See, launch template is basically defines configuration of the storage of your server, or what kind of server that you want to create. What is the OS, what server configuration, how much storage that we require, that everything that we can able to mention about the launch template. See, whenever your traffic it is coming towards applications, whenever you wanted to increase the traffic, definitely we have to create something it is called the template, because everything has to be runtime, right? I don't want to do it manually. So that's where we have to require something it is called template. So template is basically contains the configuration of the server. You just look at my screen. It is easy to launch template. The streamline, simplify, and standardize the instance launches. See, whenever you wanted to use this particular launch template to automate instance launches, because whenever you want to create instance automatically, definitely we had to go for this option name. It is called as the automate instance launches. See, you have to understanding about like why you are trying to creating the launch template. See, the purpose is very, very important. Whenever we talk about the purpose is nothing but like, why you are doing it. Because in the runtime, I can't go and spin the instances automatically. I just want to create these instances automatically. That is the reason we can see that we are going for something it is called the launch template automatically right now. So that's where we had to understanding about like how we can able to understanding about like launch template. See, use launch templates. Yep. Use launch templates or to automate the instances launches here. It is basically simplify permissions, policies, enforce the best practices across your organizations. So whenever you're trying to do it, definitely we just need to understanding about like how you are just trying to automate the things, whatever that we need. That's where we have to go for the launch template. Now here we had to go for this option name. It is called the launch template, right? So let me just showing about like how we can able to created the launch template. What are the options that we have and how we can able to setting up over there. Click on the launch template here. We had to provide the template name, right? So template name is basically, I'm just trying to mention about like Clahan go for the auto scaling. We had to go for something it is called template. This is something that I'm just trying to creating the template name. And we can see template version. Whenever you're trying to do any modifications or you're adding some features, definitely it has to go for the additional features, right? This we can just go for the 1.0 or 2.0 and all. Let me just try to go for the 1.0 because this is the first time that you're trying to creating, right? So let me just go for it and we can see about like how we can able to do these options. So once we have given the template version, we can just look at here. This is done, right? Now what I do, I have to go for this particular auto scaling guidance. If you want to use this template, if you want to use this particular template, uh, you know, we just need to go for this option name. It is called as a guidance, right? We have to use this template as a auto scaling guidance. For that, we had to go for this options right now because we wanted to utilize this template to launch the instances automatically when demand on demand comes. On demand means right point of time you need right server. So that we are going to automate those things. That's where we are trying to do this. Now, if we come down, we can see about like there's something it is called as a launch template contents, right? Now here we have to select what type of OS that we need. If we click on the quick starter, we can see you're going to get the different OSs. Like we get the Amazon Linux, you're going to get Mac OS that you're going to get, and Ubuntu you are going to get, and Windows, Red Hat, Ubuntu Linux, right? So I just wanted to go for something it is called as a Ubuntu OS. So let me just try to go for these options right now. Let me just try to go for the Ubuntu here. Okay. So whenever I just go for something, it is called as Ubuntu. And after that, what I can do, I'm just trying to mention about like how we can able to go for these options right now. So whenever we talk about something, it is called Ubuntu. It is basically you are just launching the instances what we need. That's where we had to go for these options right now. So once we have done this particular, the option name it is called as a Amazon mission image. After that, if we come down, we have to select what type of instance that we need. Whether you need something, it is called the t.micro, or you need something, it is called t.small or t.medium. The which kind of instances that we need, we have to mention over there. So I just need go for something, it is called t.micro. which is basically nothing but like one CPU and 1 GB RAM. After that, you need to select about like what is the key page that we need. Let's say, for example, I'm just trying to create the Murli-LB load balancer. The key pair I'm just trying to attach. See why? Because if you wanted to go inside the server, definitely we had to go for this option name. It is called as a, we had to put the key pair. That's where we had to go with the key pair name. The key pair name we can see about like Murli-LB, nothing but load balancer. That is the key page that I'm just trying to creating. Now this template is where you want to create. See, this template is basically the global. Okay. So now I'm just trying to creating something. It is called as a, you have to understanding about like where you want it to understand. See, we don't need to select any subnets or VPC to be frank, because this template is basically, it is a global. So we can use in this throughout this particular region wherever you required, whenever you required. That is the reason you can see it is not showing any VPC option over there. It's showing only subnet. So this is the option that you should understand that why this is. See, whenever you're practicing, just stop in each and every point, understand why it is. And if I don't provide this value, what will happen, where it is going to impact. That kind of mindset you have to improve. Okay. Now I am just need to select the security group. So now the security group that I need to attach, we have what we created. We can see that this is security group that what we created, that we opened the port number 80 and port number 22, the security group that we attached. If we come down after that, what I do, I just need to provide the storage, how much storage that we need for a server, right? So for that, we had to go for the volumes. Under volumes, we had to select up to the how much it is, 30 GB that we need. And if we come down, we have to go for the, we can see that there is something, it is called as advanced details, right? So here, what I do, I'm just trying to give some bootstrap script. So whenever you want to upload whole application, we can able to automate by using these options. But what I do, I'm just trying to provide this small script to test it whether it is going to work or not. So what I do, I'm just trying to go for these multi files. I think all these documents also I need to upload. I'll upload it today. Yeah. Yeah. So what I do, I'm just trying to first going to put this particular bootstrap script right now. So let me just try to copy everything. I have to go there. And I'm just trying to put in the advanced details. In the advanced details, we can see that there is an option that we have. We can just come down. We had to put the user data, right? In this user data, we had to put the script. So whenever you're trying to creating server, this script will automatically executing on the server. It is going to install. This is what we can call the bootstrap script. Okay. Now here, if we come down, we can see that whenever you want to upload a complete project, it has a scripts and all. If we click on the upload a file, we can see that it is going to be ask you that where this particular the file it is available, that we can able to see over there. This is something that we are just trying to understand, that how we can able to upload the script files. Now we are just trying to give in the one script right now. If we come down, this is a script what we have. And after that, what I do, I'm just trying to click on the launch instance. So the first we have to go for this, all the details right now. We can see about the first one is launch templates and template version. After that, we have to use this particular template to auto scaling. We have to go with this option right now. And after that, if we come down, we have to select about like which OS that we need and what is the configuration of the server and what is the key page that we need. After that, we have to select about networking settings, everything, and how much storage that we need, the storage size. And if we come down, we had to mention about like, we had to mention about like your bootstrap script. That's exactly we should understanding about like how we can able to go to this option. Now, the moment when you click on the launch instance, create launch template, we can see about the template it is going to be created. This is something that we should understanding about like how the template it is going to be created. We can see that successfully the created the template. Uh, Anyone have any questions in this process? If you click on the launch template, you'll get the complete, sorry, go back to the EC2.
Murali, if you don't mind, can you please like start from from first, just quickly. I mean, you don't have to talk a lot just to go through the steps. That's it. I just want to watch. That's it.
Before you ask me the question, I'll ask one question. Like, what do you understand about template? Why we need it?
Template is basically like how to say it'll run certain things. It basically automates certain things. Uh, that's what I understand. If you give proper instructions, it'll automate certain things. That's what I've understood.
Let's say now you have the load balancer, and we can see that, for example, you have the two servers. This is nothing but like minimum number of servers what you wanted to maintain. Now, whenever the customer is going to send a request, let's say you are going to get all the requests right now. This is nothing but like you have to go for the user. So whenever the user send a request, all the requests come to the load balancer. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. It is going to distribute traffic to your servers. Now, let's say this is nothing but like traffic it is distributing to all my servers. So let's, for example, I'm setting some conditions for scale up. So when I say about the scale up, when I'm getting the more traffic towards my applications, I want to increase the number of servers. That's what nothing but let's scale up. Let's say, for example, I set the condition called as a CPU utilization is more than, let's say 80%. What I do, I just need to increase the number of servers. I mean to say when the traffic is increasing, I want to add one server to my production environment. See, whenever you want to add the production environment, the new server, on what basis that you're trying to creating a new server? Because same server I need, because same OS I need, same configurations I need, same applications I want to deploy the same server also. What are the new server which I'm creating in the runtime? I'm not creating manually, I'm creating in the runtime environment. I mean to say when the traffic it is going to increasing, I just want to create a new server, same kind of server I want to create, whatever the existing server that I have. See, that is the reason we are creating something, it is called the launch template. You're getting the purpose why we are doing right now?
Yeah, so it's basically like a blueprint kind of thing.
Template is basically going to launch the instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Now here, when you're creating a template, first we have to provide template name, template version. If you want to use this template for the auto scaling purpose, we have to select the checkbox here. After that, what I do, I'm just need to select which OS server that we need. So we can see that we have the Amazon Linux, we have Mac OS, Ubuntu. So we have taken the Ubuntu mission here. And what kind of server that we need, like configuration, like how many CPUs that we need and how much GB of RAM that we need, that we have to go there. And we have to select about instance type. We can see that we have T.micro or T.small. If we go to T.medium, like 2 CPUs and 4 GB RAM. If you go to T.large, we can see that 2 CPUs and 8 GB RAM. This everything that what we can say, what we can call it as a how much configuration that we need. That's what we can say about something. It is called as a what is the configuration of the server. We have taken the T.micro because a small application we don't need much configurations, which is 1 GB and 1 GB RAM. And if you want to log into the server, you may need something. It is called the key pair, right? So we have to go for the key pair. So this is the key pair that I have selected. Murli-load balancer. And after that, what I explained is we don't need to select about the VPC because it's a global. We can use this particular template within your region whenever you need. We don't need to create a template again and again. That is the purpose. It doesn't have the option called as the VPC over there. Now we have to click on the create a security group. We are not creating a security group. See, once you create a security group in the specific VPC, same security group we can able to use for multiple times. We don't have any restrictions on this. So if we just go there, we can see there is something, it is called Clahan Auto Scaling Security. That is a security group that we should understand. And if we come down, we have to provide the storage, right? How much storage that we need. The storage, I'm just trying to putting something, it is called as 30 GB storage here. And I'm just trying to click on the launch. After that, I want to run small script. So for that, I've entered inside the advanced details. In the advanced details, I'm just trying to put in the user script over there. This is something that we are trying to do in the launch template. Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear now. And that script is something that will run every time when the template launches.
Any other, anyone have the questions? Still ask your questions before
Yes,
I just,
Murli.
yep.
I wanted to know how the launch template is different from an EMI.
AMI is just a OS, right? When I say about like something, it is called as Amazon Mission Image. Is nothing but like it is a OS. Is nothing but like OS template. You wanted to go with this Amazon Mission Image, like Windows, or go with Ubuntu or Amazon Linux, whatever that we need. The OS that we are trying to creating something, it is called as a selecting the Amazon template. Now, when I say about launch template, is nothing but like complete configuration of the server. You getting the difference?
Yes, Murli.
Yeah, great. Any other questions from anyone?
Murli, where do we set that maximum and minimum number of instances it should spin up based on the traffic? Here we are just providing the configuration, right? Like what kind of instance it should launch.
Yes. Can a bit louder, please?
Yeah, so my question is, where do we put the maximum and minimum number of instances that we should spin up based on the traffic?
Next step is that is on. Now you're trying to creating a template which you're defining about like what kind of server that you want to launch in the runtime.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope you guys are clear, everyone.
Yes, Murli.
Okay, great. Now I'm just going for the third step. In the list of the third step, we can see about like auto scaling groups. We had to put what is the maximum and what is the minimum number of instances we need. Right? Now here, go back to this EC2 here, the theme. Now here, if we just come down, we can see there is something, it is called as the auto scaling groups. Right. So when I just go for the auto scaling groups, we can see that Amazon EC2 auto scaling helps maintain the availability of your applications. Auto scaling groups are a collection of Amazon EC2 instances that enable automatic scaling and fleet management features. These features help you to maintain the health and availability of your applications. Whenever the traffic it is increasing, if you need a new server, based on the number what you are trying to defining inside the auto scaling group, depends on that it is going to create a servers automatically. We can just look at my screen. This is what we can call as the minimum number of instances, desired capacity and maximum capacity. So we can see scale out as needed. I'll talk about like how it is works and how we are trying to implement everything. See, an auto scaling groups is a collection of Amazon EC2 instances that are treated as a logical unit. They're treated as a logical unit, right? So your configuration settings for group and its instances as well as define the group minimum, maximum, and desired capacity. That is what exactly that we should mention about like what is your maximum, minimum, and desired capacity that we have to mention about it. See, it is different from minimum and maximum capacity values from the bounds of the groups. Let me go through click on the create auto scaling groups. And here first we have to mention about the auto scaling group name, right? The group name. Let's say, for example, I'm mentioning about like, the Clahan hyphen auto scaling hyphen group. This is nothing but like, the group name I'm specifying here. And after that, what I do, I have to go for the launch template. See, what is the template that we have created? See, that's what I'm just telling that everything there is a interlinked. If we miss any one of the steps, we can't able to perform. Whatever that we created, that we are using same template here. Now click on the select template what we created. And you see there is no multiple versions. We have only one version right now. And if you just come down, we can see this launch template, and also we can see about like the instance type, and also we can see about like what is security group that we selected, what is Amazon mission ID, and what is the key pair. See all the configuration that whatever you selected, everything that I can able to see over here. Now, if you click on the next here, now we have to have understanding about like what is a network type. See, now we are trying to creating this particular auto scaling groups within the VPC. You have to select the custom VPC what you are trying to creating. Now, as of now, if you see, I don't have any custom VPC. I'm just trying to bring it my by default VPC, but you should not do like that. You have to create a VPC. I explained many times how to create VPC, how to configure everything, whatever that we need. So now what I do, I'm just trying to selecting about default VPC because in this VPC only I have created load balancer. Now we can see there is something it is called as availability zones or the subnets. I'm trying to launching on the availability zones. See, this is very important because what are the availability zones that you selected on the load balancer created? The same availability zones you have to select here as well. That is, you have to keep an eye on this. Networking part is very important. Now, there is something it is called as the availability zone distribution. So where you are trying to distribute the traffic, how we can able to distribute traffic, that's where we have to understanding about the availability zone disruption here. See, whenever we talk about something, it is called the distribution. We can see that auto scaling automatically balances instances across availability zones. If launch failures occurs in one zone, select the strategy. So let's say, for example, in worst case, if the launch template has got failed, okay, if the launch template has got failed, so you wanted to launch in different availability zone. So how we are trying to do that? That is what exactly it is showing about like how we can able to go for these options right now. So we can see about like balanced best effort or balanced only. Whenever you go for the balanced best effort, it is clearly talking about if launches fail in one availability zone, auto scaling will attempt to launch another a healthy availability zone. That's the reason I set it to availability zones, because when I say availability zone, it's a data center. In the data center, if does some disaster happen, something is going to be happen over there. So I want to launch completely this instance in a different availability zone. That's where we have to go for something. It is called as a go for something. It is called as a balanced best effort, and we can see that there is something. It is called balanced only. If launches fail in one availability zone, auto scaling will continue to attempt to launch in the same unhealthy availability zone to preserve the balanced distribution. This is not recommended because if some disaster will happen in the data center, if something goes wrong, I wanted to launch the instances in the healthy availability zone. See, for that we have to go for something. It is called as a the balance efforts only. Now, this is something that we are trying to do. Now, if you click on the next here, if you click on the next, we can see about like how we can able to perform the load balancing. Whenever you want to perform the load balancing, we have to go for the attached to the existing load balancer, attached to new load balancer. See, we have already created load balancer. The same load balancer I'm trying to attaching to this buckler auto scaling groups. Why? Because if you want to distribute traffic, definitely we need something. It is called a load balancer. See, for that you have to go for the attached to the existing load balancer, and we can see that our load balancer is a classic load balancer. We have to go to the option here. We have to select the load balancer what you created. That's what is the link between the one to the other. So now we created load balancer because you want to distribute traffic between your backends. And whenever there is new server created, its load balancer will automatically register the load balancer automatically. The new server what we created, and it is going to start routing the traffic to the new server. That is how load balancer will work automatically. If we come down, you don't need to worry about this particular VPC latency integration options here. It is basically to improve the network capabilities. When you perform the scalability, integrate your auto scaling groups with the VPC latency here. See, it is basically going to provide the communication between the AWS services, help you to connect and manage the application across the competing services in AWS. So you wanted to go with the C, it is going to cost us. You have to understanding about like why you are going to this option. See, VPC Leti will not manage your auto scaling groups network access. connectivity with other services. If we go to this option, if you wanted to make the connectivity, definitely we had to go for the attached VPC latency here. So whenever you wanted to go for the incoming request associated with the specified VPC latency large groups here, then we had to go to this option right now. So it is going to ask you about like what is the VPC. We have not created any VPC latency group, so we had to click on create. Now we don't require. So I'm just trying to setting about like no VPC latency issue services over there. Now after that, what we do. So this is we'll talk about when we're discussing about something. It is called as a Kubernetes. There is something it is called as application recovery controllers. Nothing but like ARC. This is all comes under the disaster recovery. Because if something goes wrong, if X failed, what is your plan Y? If Y it is got failed, what is the plan Z? See, you have to understanding about like what is meant by plan X, what is plan Y, and what is plan Z. See this when I talk about application recovery controller means, see during an availability zone, implement target instances launched towards the healthy availability zones. If my availability zone it is got failed, some disaster happened, and what is your disaster recovery mechanism? How you want to bring the application availability to your customers? See, for that, what we do, we had to go for the application recovery controllers, nothing but like, ARC, nothing but application recovery controllers. You want to enable it? We can see it is going to ask you about like health check behavior and how you wanted to route the traffic, where you wanted to shift here, that we have to go with these options. So we don't need as of now here. And if we come down, we can see that there are options that we have, right? So anyone have any question in the screen? Ask. I'm just going to clarify your doubts.
Murli, could you explain what VPC lattice means?
VPC latency is very important. I mean, say it's very easy to understand. See, whenever your load balancer wanted to or communicating any other AWS services which is available in the particular region, then you have to create something. It is called as a VPC latency.
Okay, Murli.
If you want to make the communication to the different services, like, basically it is going to provide service, something is called as a traffic management. You see, it's clearly telling about the, if you come down, the scalability, integrated to your auto scaling groups, facilitate the communication between AWS services and help to connect, manage your applications. If you wanted to go for the service discovery, traffic management, and observability, for example, you want to integrate this auto scaling group for CloudWatch to monitor your applications, then you can go for the observability part here. So if you want to implement such kind of use cases, then definitely we require something. It is called as a this options over there. This is how that you should understand about this, the VPC latency integration over there. It is clear now?
Yes, Murli.
Okay, could you please confirm others also? Quick. Yep, great. I can see that most of you guys have responded. Thank you for that. It's a clear. See, don't keep any question if we have. Please try to ask if we have any question. Now I just wanted to go for the next here. And this is what majorly you have to understand. What is your maximum number of instances? What is your minimum number of instances? And what is your desired capacity? We can see that. Set the initial size of the auto scaling group. What is mean by initial size means when you're going to launch the application, irrespective of the traffic, whether traffic it is coming low, coming normal, coming medium, I want to manage minimum number of instances to manage the availability of my application. Let's say, for example, if you look at my screen, I'm just trying to clarify here. Now, if I just trying to mention about like min here, min is equal to 2. That means it is going to create minimum number of instances equal to 2. Now, if I'm just trying to mention about like maximum is equal to 5 means, see when the traffic it is keep on increasing, you have to go up to 5 instances. Now there is something it is called as a desired capacity. What is exactly meant by desired capacity means by the runtime, how many instances that we required. How many instances that we required? That is what we can call as the desired capacity. See, desired capacity is always should match with the minimum number of instances, or it should not go beyond the minimum number of instances. Desired capacity, minimum capacity is always should be equal, or the desired capacity is compared to the minimum capacity should be low. It should not be greater than. So now here, when you're trying to click on the launch instance, at the moment or at the time, how many number of instances that we need, that is what we can call as the desired capacity. You can see that it is clearly telling that equal or less than the desired capacity. See, for example, if I mention desire is equal to 3 here, I should not mention 4 here, the minimum number of instances. If I mentioned, because it should, sorry, here I mentioned 3, here I mentioned 4. It should not greater than, it should be equal. I mean, this is minimum number of instances, all should be equal to desired capacity or less than the desired capacity. This is the point that we should understand. See, choose the measurement of your desired capacity value. CPU memory only supports the mixed instances groups configured the set instances attributes. Now, if I'm just trying to mention about like desired capacity is 2 and the minimum number of instances also 2 right now, because I want these 2 instances running irrespective of the traffic. If the traffic it is available, if the traffic it is coming high, low, it doesn't matter about it. I just need to mention about like what is your desired capacity. Now we had to go with the maximum desired capacity. I just need to mention about like 5 here. See, this value can be changed because we have to setting up the monitoring alerts. If the fifth server it is getting CPU utilization 80%, or you set the condition for 60%, it is what we can call as a proactive monitoring. The moment alert comes to your desk, to your email, to our Slack channel or Teams channel and all, we can go back and we can increase the maximum number of instances. But initially we don't know like how many number of instances that we need. So I'm just trying to setting up the limit is nothing but like, 5 here. This is what exactly that we should understanding about like what is the maximum desired capacity and what is the minimum number of capacity that we need. We can see that we can resize your auto scaling group manually or automatically meet the changes demand. So we can able to resize the demand based on the demand, whatever that we need. Now this is nothing but like, minimum number of instances or maximum. See how the maximum number of instances is going to work. See, for example, this 2 instances running. See, I told you like we have to set the condition for scale up and we have to set the condition for scale down. Assume that I set the condition for scale up, right? If I go there, if I just go for the CPU utilization is, let's say, the greater than, I don't know, I'm very bit confused, less than greater than. I'm very weak at math. That's the reason I came to computer science. So if I just go to CPU utilization, if I mention about like 30 here, sorry, 80, if the CPU utilization goes 80%, it is going to create a new server where we can define these conditions we are defining in the CloudWatch alarms. Now this is goes very same way. CPU utilization 80%, it is going to create new server. So like that, up to maximum 5 instances, we can go up to that. Now that's what we are trying to mention about like maximum desired capacity. Now, if we come down, this is clear, right? Anyone have any questions on the group size?
No. No.
Uh, she don't. We have any questions? She has any questions? Caesar, do you have any questions here? Are you clear now?
Yes, Murli, I'm clear.
Okay, great. I hope others also is understood, like Vijay, Lenin, Sheikh, Kinjal,
Yeah.
Harshit, Dodi.
So far,
Yes, Murli.
no major questions. All good.
No, Murli, I don't have any question.
Yeah, great. Now let's go to this option here. If we come down, we can see that auto scaling. See, when you want to perform the auto scaling, how we can able to perform this? You have to create dynamic scaling policies. Now you just don't worry about this option. I'll tell you about the last option, but dynamic scaling policies. We can see no policy, launch before you terminate and launch, and custom behavior. If you go to custom behavior, you have to mention about the custom values, like minimum percentage, we can see maximum percentage. So we don't require right now. I'll tell you about like in the last step, sixth step, how we can able to dynamically create a scaling policies. Okay, now if we come down, yeah, additional capacity settings, you mentioned default, that's fine, absolutely. Additional settings, we don't require any monitoring because see, enable group metrics to collection of within the CloudWatch. If you want to see that metrics, understanding about monitoring how the CPU utilization, memory utilization, how much traffic coming towards my application and all, monitoring is very important for us. So if I'm just trying to enable this particular metric collections within the CloudWatch, so it is going to enable the monitoring. Now, if you click on the next here, we can see this is a notifications. That is the fourth step. When the traffic it is coming high towards your application or traffic coming low or towards a particular server, how you are going to send notification to particular team. That's what we can call as the notifications. Notification is nothing but like alerts. If any kind of activity which is happened over there, whom we are going to talking about it and how we are going to talking about it. That is where we have to understanding about like something it is called notifications. See, we had to create a separate notification. I'll tell you about like how we can able to create the separate notification with help of the SNS service. Now, if you come down, I'm not creating any SNS notification as of now. I'm just skipping this step. I'd say tags are just nothing but like identifications. If you want to attach the tag, it's just like a key and value page. So you can see add tags to help you to search, filter, and track your auto scaling group across AWS. See, whenever you're trying to filter out and to identify, you're trying to giving unique tag to your particular auto scaling groups. So it is not optional, it is not required very much, not mandatory. You see that it's saying about like optional. Now, if you go to this particular steps is the review, last step, we can see that it is showing about auto scaling group, and we can see that where you're trying to configuring and you're trying to mention about like load balancing. And after that, if you come down, what is your maximum minimum number of instances that you're trying to mention about it. And after that, if you click on the create auto scaling group, whatever the desired capacity that you mentioned, 2 instances will create automatically now. We can see update capacity right now. If you click on the refresh, it's still updating capacity. It will just take a moment to create a servers where I'm not creating any server manually. If you observe that, I'm trying to creating all the services automatically now. Click on the refresh now. We can just look at my screen. If you go back to the EC2, okay, click on the instances now. By this time, the instance is launching. You see that? This is what I created manually, but these 2 instances, you can see the pending status. It is initializing now. If you click on the refresh, it is both are running status. If we go back to the auto scaling groups, it is just go back to now. If you can see the status showing about like hyphen. Desire is 2, minimum is 2, the maximum is 5, right? This is how that you are trying to launch the instances. Go back to the instances now. I can just look at my screen. This is nothing but like, how you trying to create the instance state. See, this instance is got initialized. You can see it is got created automatically. This is what exactly that we are trying to understand about the option over there. So once you are just trying to creating these instances, whatever that you have, now you have to check the load balancer. Go back to the load balancer, what you created. See whether this particular load balancer has got configured these instances or not. Go to this option name, it is called target instances. Look at my screen. This 2 instances is showing about like out of services. Why it is showing out of services? So it will just take some time to coming back to the in services. We can see this showing about like why it is got failed. We can see that instances has failed at least one unhealthy threshold, number of health checks consecutively. So it is not able to getting the ping request. That is the reason it's showing about like out of the services right now. See, once the ping request is got success, what will happen? It is coming back to the in services status. We can just look at my screen. Both are showing about like it is initializing now. We can see 2 by 2 parsec it is got clear. So once 2 by 2 parsec is clear, then only my load balancer we can able to connect the services. Now let me try to connect one instance. Okay, let's go back here. Click on the connect right now. I'm just trying to connecting my Ubuntu machine. Maybe you may not able to install because I need to change some script. I have not done that. Go back to the putty here. You should understand how automatically that we are doing all the things. Provide the host name, appearance, click on the change. I just need to put the storage is 14 GB. Now go back to the connection here. Provide 60 seconds and message, authorization, credentials. I'm just trying to upload the credentials, nothing but like Murali-LB. Now click on the open right now. You are able to connect your instances, whatever you created. Okay. Basically, the Ubuntu server doesn't support HTTPD, but we are trying to install HTTPD server. It doesn't require. I need to change the script actually. That's fine. Now, but what we understood is how we can able to do this automation here. Let me go back to my load balancer again. Yeah, this is my load balancer. Click on the load balancer ID. Go back target instances now. You see that still it is not able to ping this particular request. We can just look at my screen. So both has to come to this particular in service. So both is come to the in service, then only this particular load balancer can route the traffic to my servers. So it will take some time to configure the instances, whatever that we are doing now automatically. So once it is created and check the health status and all, it is coming back to the in services. Now in these 3 steps, anyone have any questions right now?
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.